Hello everyone, I am Renown Zero, and we're back again talking about this Airrick guy who continues to attack Eric July over and over again, making some very, very unintelligent remarks about him and the things that he says. Got a couple clips here, we're just going to jump right into it. The first one is going to be this one. So, this is him responding to Eric talking about the Bud Light stuff, saying that Bud Light isn't catering to their demographic, which they're not, and he's saying that he's not catering to his demographic, which he is. So let's jump into it.
Catering to, let's say, a very, very small demographic of people, and this is...
Hey Eric, we're back again. We're back here again. Your whole video is just basically speculating about why this VP is taking a leave of absence, which you yourself said you can decide what you want on that, which is great for your guys' channels because...
Or they're taking a leave of absence because they were wrong for hiring this weirdo person that doesn't represent women to a company that is biggest demographic is men.
That means you can literally just spin this however you want. The part of your clip here that I think is really interesting is you kind of chastise them for catering to what you call a very, very small demographic. Niche.
Because trans people are a very, very small demographic.
Demographics are kind of what you're doing with your product, right?
The amount of people who love comic books and read comic books is definitely a larger demographic than trans people existing. The fuck are you talking about, dude?
Like, no offense to you, I'm glad you're successful and you're striving there. Have no opinion in that regard. But you cater to your demographic, to your niche demographic. So I'm not sure.
Comic book readers is not a niche demographic. It might be now, actually, because American comics are absolute shit, and manga is taking over the scene, but overall, really, comics are not a small demographic of people. I mean, he got 60,000 orders.
Sure why you're upset that a company is doing the same thing. That's what...
They're not. Bud Light is not selling to the demographic. They hired a trans person, which isn't their demographic. Their demographic is men. It's mostly men. Probably 85 to 90% men.
What all businesses should be doing. Wherever they think they can get money.
Oh, so that means he should be doing it. He shouldn't be taking your advice because you're an idiot.
That's where they should go. We all know this situation is not about money. It's about optics from you guys. Because ultimately, you don't give a fuck about Bud Light's money.
He's simply reacting and giving his opinion as to why you shouldn't try to cater to a minority group of people for a product that isn't typically catered towards them. And what happens when you do this? You lose billions of dollars, which is essentially what he was saying in this video, which you fail to input as context because your whole argument would fall apart. Move on to the next video here. Airrick uses satire to make fun of Eric July Ripperverse, Burgerverse, the anti-woke meat burger, which the whole Ripperverse is not an anti-woke thing. It's a get back to basics comics being fun thing. It's the same thing when people are calling the Super Mario Bros. Movie an anti-woke movie. No, it's just a fun movie that gets back to what movies are supposed to be. Entertainment and not propaganda. Let's jump into the clip.
What's up again? Charles Chucky here from Burgerverse, the anti-woke meat burger.
I'll point out he's actually wearing a tank top, trying to be like Eric July. I'm sorry that he doesn't notice you, senpai, but come on, dude, really?
I just want to say McDonald's, Burger King, all these burger places are shaking in their boots. Our first and only individual one burger campaign made a ton of money. You folks made it rain on the Burgerverse. And I don't have any proof, but I can tell you McDonald's, Burger...
He has all the proof in the world that he made money, stupid. You're just a dumbass who doesn't understand that Eric July is a very transparent person and has put out the numbers of what he's made and what he's sold and what he's brought in and what he's profit and revenue. You're just too fucking stupid to look up this information, and you talk about people spreading misinformation and disinformation, yet you do it every single day, it seems. because you're that much of a disingenuous piece of shit.
Burger King are shaking. Mainstream burgers, upset. The Burgerverse, a huge success. We don't need to see numbers or breakdowns or anything like that. Just take my word for it. Detractors, haters.
Once again, you don't actually know any of the information because you failed to look it up. Because you're that stupid and you're that disingenuous. It's all on his channel, idiot. It's all on his Twitter, idiot. If you took 5 seconds to research any of the crap you're saying, you would know that. But you're disingenuous.
Haters are going to be super mad. And some detractors have the nerve to say that your money doesn't mean anything. Look, your money's
You guys do that all the time. That's the funny part. Detractors do that all the time.
not going to any sort of
Besides the fact that y'all say it isn't going to come out, the warehouse is fake, etc., etc., etc. I have a whole playlist on all this on my channel.
organization that's going to help push back against these woke policies. It's just lining my pockets. But that's enough. These anti-woke burgers, they don't want you to have them, and you're owning them by buying these anti-woke burgers.
Now he's making a joke about he's making his comic book company to own the libs. No, he's making this comic book thing because he's a fan of comics, something that you're not a fan of. You know no shit about, clearly. And he's making it so it's his dream to make a comic book of his own. But of course, you are criticizing a person you know nothing about and take no time to do research on whatsoever.
Sure, what you're paying for isn't making any major changes to the culture, but it feels good to give money to the Burgerverse, right?
It actually is making huge changes to the culture because not mainstream media, access media have to talk about it because it's such a phenomenon and they refuse to talk about it, but they know they have to talk about it, so clearly it's making an impact. Again, you are disingenuous. You are not real. You're basically an NPC. You're basically an NPC. And then we're going to jump into this last one here. We're just going to throw this in real quick. Effing what? If it's done, why not pre-sell for a couple months while setting up the new warehouse? It's definitely not necessary because number 2 will not sell as well as number 1. I can guarantee ISOM 2 is going to sell more than ISOM 1 with all the haters like this guy, actual fandom, going around saying his nonsense. I can tell you right now that is going to sell more than number 1 because of people like this. This was in response to a tweet that Airrick made as an update, so saying that why pre-orders for ISOM 2 haven't gone out because he's waiting on his certificate of occupancy to set up his bigger warehouse. They want to have the bigger warehouse so that they're able to pack, ship, and send out the orders because they do everything. That's why they want to do this first before selling the book, dummy. But of course, you have no business sense, so of course you don't know that. You don't understand that. Let's jump into the last clip here. We'll probably do this video at some point up here. Airrick claims Ripperverse does not want to reach new customers because there's no promotional content for ISOM 2 and that Ripperverse wants to juice old customers instead. Well, yeah, you kind of want to have returning customers. It's called the revolving door effect, where you want people to revolve and come back to your store to be a repeat customer. That's kind of the point. You make a good product and you have people come back and buy more of your product.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Charles Chucky, the CEO and owner of Burgerverse, the anti-woke meat burger.
It's not anti-woke. You're really dumb.
Back at you again. Look, I know I should be working on that second burger for you guys, but we have some stuff to cover here.
ISOM 2 is done. You would know that if you knew anything once again, if you looked up any updates that Airrick July puts out, you would know that ISOM 2 has been done for months. But because he needed a warehouse to set up shop and get orders packaged and shipped out, that's why they're not up for pre-order yet.
Some people on Twitter, some detractors and haters, are calling me out because there's no advertising for the second burger yet. Look, it's real simple. You had to pay for the burger first to get in the advertising mailing list.
No, they didn't. No one paid for advertisement or marketing material for ISOM 2 because it hasn't been put out yet, stupid. God, you're so dumb. This is why you hang around people like Dane and Bob. Because y'all are all a bunch of idiots. You're the whole fucking circus, bro. Y'all not even clowns. Y'all the whole fucking circus.
I know typically major companies go out there, they try to get more customers by doing an advertising campaign, but that's not how we do it every year.
Pretty sure he's gonna put out a trailer for ISOM 2, just like he did with ISOM 1.
Over here, you pay first, then you
But when he launched ISOM 1 is when he put out the trailer for ISOM 1.
get the advertising updates. We don't want potential customers, we want customers. You gotta buy first, then you get the promotional stuff.
The promotional material for ISOM number 1 came out well before pre-orders went up for sale. The fuck are you talking about, dude? Your satire is horrible.
This is Business 101. Advertising needs to go to existing
He definitely has more business sense than you think.
customers only.
Because if you had any business sense, you would understand the content you're making is fucking retarded.
Nothing in public. So if you want Burgerverse sales updates, you need to buy first.
That's literally never happened. And you would know that if you knew anything about the person you're criticizing. So, people like this tend to be very disingenuous. They tend to not do research on the people that they are criticizing and then act like they're somehow more intelligent than they are. And they think they're more intelligent than they really are. They're pretty low IQ, NPC types of people. We call them brainlets. Or we call them room temperature IQ. So you typically surround yourself with the same type of people who are just as stupid as you are. So it would make a lot of sense as to why you hang around people like Dane from Actual Fandom and Bob from Organized Chaos, because you guys are all stupid. And you all say stupid things, you all say dumb things, and you continue to supposedly call out Airrick for his Ripperverse. Meanwhile, you don't even know anything about anything pertaining to the Ripperverse or pertaining to Airrick July himself. You just sit online and you spew a bunch of bullshit and you hope people will listen. While people like me will make videos on your dumbass and probably get more views, and hopefully people will see you people for what you really are. A bunch of disingenuous pieces of garbage. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like the video, hit the like button. Comment below your feelings about all this are. Do not attempt to contact or interact with anybody I talk about, this guy that I talk about in this video. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set it to all. That way you get notifications anytime I post a new video. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace.